Reading one-star reviews of popular books? Oh, this is gonna be a time. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Alexis Brianna and I am so glad that you're here. Today, I'm going to be reading one-star reviews of books that I have either decided weren't for me, that I've DNF'd, or that I have just really actively avoided based on what I've heard about them. And I got inspired by Coleen's video where she read one-star reviews of her favorite books, and I just wanted to put a bit of a twist on it because I'm really curious to see if these negative reviews will validate my decisions or if they'll make me rethink and say, you know what, maybe I judged these books too quickly and need to add them to my TBR. And I just want to say that this is not about shaming anyone who loves these books. Reading is very subjective, and I know that what works for me may not work for you, vice versa, all of those things. So grab something to drink, grab some popcorn, and let's just have some fun with it and see where this takes us. First up, we have It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, and from everything that I've heard about how this book handles DV, I decided to pass on it. From what I've gathered, it's a contemporary romance that follows, I believe, Lily Bloom, I'll confirm that, and she enters into a relationship that gradually becomes abusive, and it explores just her journey of leaving and breaking that cycle of violence. And while it's been incredibly successful, and it even got a movie adaptation, which was highly controversial, from what I've heard, just how both the book and the movie handle this, I would say, very, very sensitive subject matter, I just decided, yeah, I'm just not going to partake in it. But let's see what these one-star reviews say. Okay, so I have Amazon pulled up. I took a look at Goodreads and Amazon. It is sitting at above a 4-point star rating on both. I believe Goodreads, it was like a 4.0 something or something like that. And then a number, but at Amazon, or on Amazon rather, it is sitting at a 4.7 out of 5. I mean, this book is, I knew it was popular, but I didn't know it was this like highly rated because it has been so controversial. So this is very interesting. The first one-star review on Amazon is long, so I'm not gonna read it all. Okay, it says, things I hate about It Ends With Us. Number 1, the names. Did a 2-year-old come up with these names? Lily, Blossom, Bloom, and she's a florist? I'm actually gagging. Listen, as the author, you don't have to write a whole scene about how Lily hates her name. As the author, you give Lily a different name. It's not quirky, it's not cute, it's cringe. That's actually funny. And then number 2, toxic masculinity. Listen, I understand this book is literally about abuse. I get that. But Alyssa's husband is gross, plain and simple. Also, all of the comments about how comments he made about having to get Alyssa drunk in order to have fun. What? She says, I'm not going to say the cuss word. Why is this never talked about? Yeah, I didn't hear about that. Like in all of the discourse that I heard, I didn't hear about that. Okay, and then she keeps going, but she was very, oh my gosh, people are writing paragraphs and books. Oh, okay, so the third review says, there isn't a lot of fact to this book. It moves fast. The language is clear. It is completely devoid of any pretensions, literary, moral, or otherwise. And I think all of those are meaningful, positive features. Okay. I like a good sandwich method. Positive, negative, positive. I like a good sandwich method. Okay. The biggest problem with Colleen Hoover is that her characters appear to be drawn from the imagination of a 13-year-old girl, imagining how adults think and live. Yikes. Okay. Oh, that's mean. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Okay, these are long. Oh my. I'm trying to find a short one. That was interesting. I think people, okay, let me just look at Goodreads really quick because I'm like, based on these Amazon reviews, my goodness, today. Those were very, very strong feelings. I'm just going to read the first one. This one, oh, this is long. Hold on. I may not be able to read all of this because that one's long too. Oh, I'm going to keep scrolling. Okay, this one's good. I like how she starts out. She says, I don't believe in disliking things just because they are popular. I went into this with the intention of liking it, but it ended up feeling uncomfortable by the tone of this book. Although I wholeheartedly respect the personal nature of this story, the author's note does not exempt this work of fiction from criticism, especially when it comes to the topic as serious as DV. I empathize with the main character, Lily, and I appreciate the effort that was made to highlight how trauma distorts and lingers, but I don't believe that this captured the severity or nuance that the topic this heavy deserves in fictionalized work. This book is marketed as a romance, and the synopsis makes it seem like a lighthearted love triangle instead of a woman's experience with spousal abuse. Yikes. It reduces DV to a lover's quarrel and presents a tactless caricature of the realities of abuse. And I can acknowledge this may not have been the intention, but the elaboration in the author's note does not absolve this book of its reckless and irresponsible marketing. I think we're going to leave it alone. I think that's very fair. I think that is a very fair assessment. Again, I have not read the book. Let me know down in the comment section if this is a book that you've read. I'd be interested to just hear what your thoughts on the book were. But yeah, I think based on all of those reviews, although be if they were 1-star reviews, I do feel pretty confident that that book is not one that I should add to my TBR. But yeah, definitely let me know down below if it's a book that you've read. Okay, I'm not gonna hold you. I haven't read this next book because I just don't want to get mad. And it is Yellowface by Kuang, and it explores themes of race and identity and cultural appropriation and plagiarism. And I was reading the synopsis and I say, you know what? I've heard a lot about this book. I've seen a lot about this book. But then when I read the synopsis, I say, yeah, I don't think this for me. So it says authors June Hayward and Athena Liu were supposed to be twin rising stars, but Athena is a literary darling and June Hayward is literally nobody. Who wants stories about basic white girls? June thinks. So when June witnesses Athena's death in a freak accident, she acts on impulse and she steals Athena's just finished masterpiece, an experimental novel about the unsung contributions of Chinese laborers during World War I. So what if June edits Athena's novel and sends it to her agent as her own? So what if she lets her new publisher rebrand her as Jennifer Song, complete with an ambiguously ethnic author photo? Doesn't this piece of history deserve to be told, whoever the teller? That's what June claims, and the New York Times bestseller list seems to agree. So yeah, that synopsis, I say, yeah, I have many thoughts that I'm going to keep to myself. But let's just see what the reviews say. Okay, so on Amazon, it is sitting at a 3.9 out of 5 stars. And then on Goodreads, it is sitting at a, I just had it up. Oh, a 3.73 stars. So I am going to read, since I'm on Goodreads, I'm gonna stop doing that. I'm gonna go to the 1-star reviews on Goodreads first. Okay, it says, I'm being generous already when I say that it is okay, because I personally don't like these kinds of books. While I appreciate the community, social commentary, and the look inside the publishing industry, I found the tone and execution to be quite heavy-handed. It's certainly written well, but personally, I didn't like the writing style or the narrative voice. I know R.F. Kuang intended for the characters to be unlikable, but I did not root for them at any point of the book. I was irritated most of the time, so I can't really say that I enjoyed reading this. Next review says, if only you can write a book, if the only way you can write a book is by making the characters dumb as a stack of spuds. I've never heard dumb as a dumb as a stack of spuds. I've heard dumb as a box of rocks, but A stack of spuds. The resolution is the protag literally thinks she is being confronted by the ghost of her friend and confesses everything to the ghost out loud in public, except it's poorly executed. All of the characters are inexplicably wealthy, connected, or internally online, probably because ow, that was harsh. It keeps going. It keeps going. And it even had, it keeps going. All right, the next one says, as stated in status updates, this isn't worth reviewing where I'm concerned. Apologies to those who liked it. Writing is art and tastes vary from one person to another. Enough said. Okay, I mean, yeah, reading is very subjective. It varies. Okay, I feel like I'm now gonna have to like start pre-reading these before reading these because my goodness, today. This one says, if someone were to give me this book without any indication of who the author is and asked me to guess who wrote it, after I read it, not in a million years would I have said Art Kuang. This book is completely different from the previous masterpieces, The Poppy Wars and Babel. And when I say different, I do not mean it as a compliment. All right, last one. Last one. This is going to be the last one. All right. Very fast, very readable. But I heard more of Art Kuang than Juniper or Athena or any other character. It was suffocating, to be honest. I wish the author would trust her readers a bit more and use a little bit more nuance, subtlety, layers in her characters and her discourses about racism. I'm gonna end this one by saying, yeah, I'm glad that I have not read this book. Even though some of the reviews on that one get a bit personal, that's a good, even though some of those reviews got a bit personal, I would say like just based on what I'm hearing, that one wasn't for me. Okay, so next up we have A Court of Thorns of Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And I have a confession. I actually did start the series. I read the first book and got like partway through the second book, A Court of Mist and Fury, and then I stopped. The main love interest was just giving me the ick in a way that I couldn't get past. And I understand that people love Rhysand. I understand that. But just something about that dynamic was not working for me. And I even switched to audio and I just was like, yeah, no. And then after I stepped away from reading the series, I heard things about the author that made me really uncomfortable, and I am not super all into all of the book drama and things like that. I try to stay out of it as much as possible, but sometimes it comes by my path. But after everything that I heard in research, I said, you know what? I'm personally not okay with it, and I think that it's okay to not finish books or support authors that don't align with your values, even if everyone loves that work of art. So let's get into these reviews. Okay, so I'm looking at Amazon and it is sitting at a 4.6 on Amazon out of 5. And then it is sitting at a 4.16. Let's dig into these reviews. All right, the first one says, oh, they updated it over the years. Okay, not gonna read that one. This one's long. But I mean, if you want to look at reviews and you don't mind spoilers because maybe you're on the fence about some of these books, all you gotta do is go to these reviews and they basically give you the whole shebang. I mean, a book. Oh, this one's funny. Okay, it says, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ACOTAR drinking game. What you need: a coffee of ACOTAR, an alcoholic beverage of your choice, and one or more friends to play with. Seriously, don't do this alone. And then it says how it works. Drink every time you read these words. A shiver went down my spine. They do that. That is something repeated a lot in this book. Okay. My knees buckled. In a heartbeat or a heartbeat later, I would never be able to paint it. Male, female, smirk, snarl, prowl, or purr. All right, another book. Okay, it says, I have a hard time rating this book because of the hype. I wonder if I would be rating it differently if I read it at a different time. I kept this book in a good, healthy arm's length distance away from me. It's like I had to distance myself from the book. I think that's a very good point. I think sometimes when it comes to like really popular books, like the hype is so there, your expectations are so high, and so you're just super disappointed and let down, and sometimes that letdown like spills over to into like the actual rating of the book and not the book itself. So I think that that is actually a really good point. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so this person says that this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. This also happens to be my first experience with the Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it left me disappointed. I didn't know that it was a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Like I wouldn't have gathered that. Someone said, stop this ellipses and dash and repetition abuse, please. I'm begging. Ooh. Okay, let me just peek over Amazon. Maybe this is interesting though. This one doesn't have, it had a few like lengthy reviews, but like in comparison to the previous two, like this one did not have like the books and books of reviews. They had a lot of one-liners, and then there were some that were very lengthy, but like overall that's very interesting, like the difference. Oh, it does not have, A Court of Thorns and Roses does not have a 1-star review on Amazon. Like it says 0%. Interesting. Well, who would have thought? Again, I wrote the first book, and I won't rehash it. We know I ain't going to, but let me know down below, is A Court of Thorn and Roses one of your favorite, book series? Have you read the series? What are your thoughts? Did you not like it? Just let me know down in the comment section. Okay, last but not least, we have Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. And another confession, I actually started this one too, and I read about 85-ish% of this book, and I just didn't finish it. And it wasn't that I disliked it. The Dragon Academy premise was very cool, and the romance was fun, but just something about it wasn't working for me. And I think that it boils down to a lot of things, but a few things. For me, it was like telling us how smart that this character is, but not showing it in action. Plus then the info dumping was unnatural, and the romance was just not romancing for me. And I think, okay, for me, I think that this is a good transitional book if you love romance, but you want to get into fantasy. And I don't think that when I first went into it that I realized that it was going to be a book series. But then once I started like reading it, and I was like, maybe it's me. So let me see what everyone's talking about online. I was like, oh, this is going to be a series. I was like, okay, let me keep reading. And then I say, yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to commit to this. I'm not going to be able to commit to this. So anyways, let's read the 1-star reviews on this book. Okay, so I have it pulled up, and on Goodreads it's sitting at a 4.7, and then on Amazon it's sitting at a 4.8. I think that's the highest that a book has been rated on like what we've read so far. And like looking at Amazon, there are no 1-star or even 2-star reviews on this book. So maybe it's me. Maybe I am the problem. And maybe this is just one of those things that like, it's not for everybody, and that's okay. Maybe it's one of those. But yeah, it doesn't have any 1 or 2-star reviews on Amazon. Let's go to Goodreads and see what's on Goodreads. Okay. Goodreads reviews, 1 star. Okay, this one's it's a 1, but they said it's like a 1.5. It says, new half-year resolution. I need to stop taking recommendations on Booktok. I'm not gonna lie here. If this book series hadn't been raved about everywhere I looked online, I probably wouldn't have read it. I'm trying to stop reading TikTok popular books, but the rating in this book made me pick it up. Honestly, I just remember hearing a lot of people, from my perspective, read it, so that's why I read it. And I didn't like actually look at like the reviews before reading it or seeing how high it was rated, but it is pretty high rated. It says Fourth Ring was my first Rebecca Yarros book, so I don't know so I didn't know what exactly to expect, but at least I know that it will be my first and last story by this author, because it turned turned out to not be for me. She goes into a lot of different points. Okay, I'm gonna skip past. Okay, the next one says, if I had $1 million for every cliche in this book, of which there are a multitude, I still regret spending $20 on all 498 pages of this mess. Spoilers to follow. I'll try to like skip past some of it. But she says, now let's start with world building. Now this book had two things I love dearly: dragons and academic setting. I agree. Like, I love a good fantasy that is, you know, in dark academia or an academy type setting, and dragons. I love dragons. Yarros, however, explains almost every element of her world so poorly that sporadically that the entire story feels as though it were concocted page by page. The author's primary method of exposition is dropping pieces of information into conversations that feel forced and completely unnatural. No one talks like that. No one shares information like that. Okay, then it says, now for these characters. Oh, the characters. Starting with the main event, we have frail young Violet, who is so relatable because she's so clumsy and she's so bad at things. Simultaneously, she is so smart, like smarter than everyone else, and so unique. Not gonna say that. And then someone said, I'm sorry, it's a no for me. It's always a case of you questioning yourself when a high book doesn't work out for you, but I have reasons and regrets, and I want to refund my time and money. This one says, a valuable lesson to be learned here, and that's that when you see the entire Goodreads community read and 5-star the same book, you run fast as you can in the other direction. Well, that was interesting, and I think overall I'm feeling pretty validated in my choices. It turns out that my instincts about what wouldn't be a good fit for me was pretty accurate just based on those reviews. Yeah. What I would say is about just this experience in general is a couple of things. I think that first, it's okay to trust your gut when it comes to books. I think that if something isn't working for you, you don't have to force it just because it's popular. Also, different readers have different tastes. And again, reading is very subjective, and what bothers you may not bother me. What bothers me may not bother you. And I think that that's fine. I'd say lastly, I think that stepping away from a book or avoiding it altogether sometimes is the right choice. I think that life is just too short to read books that don't serve you or that even may trigger you. And I also want to acknowledge that some of these books may have brought you joy, maybe have brought other readers joys, and I think that that's valid. I think my experience and others people's experience don't invalidate anyone's love for these books, and I think this reinforced that it's okay to be selective with what I read and what to prioritize in terms of books and authors that align with my values and preferences. But I'd love to know, have you ever avoided a popular book and then felt validated by the negative reviews, or have the negative reviews ever changed your mind about like giving a book a chance? I definitely love to know down in the comment section. And if you've made it to this point of the video, welcome to the end of the video, crew. I always love to know who's hung out with me until the end of the video, so be sure to drop a laughing emoji in the comment section. I just love chatting it up with y'all. And if you love this video, be sure to subscribe, like, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss a new video from me. Until the next time, happy reading. Bye, y'all.